What's going on? It's Tristan B. Today, I'm diving into one of the most talked about conversations in the industry: wedding videographers versus wedding content creators. No conflict, no competition, just real conversations. Today, I'm sitting with one of the top wedding content creators in the industry. Who do I have the pleasure of sitting with?
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm a wedding content creator, and my business is called Jen Content Creator. So basically, what I do is I film wedding days on my phone and I create content out of it. So that can mean taking video clips of your entire day, filming all the decorations, and even helping you make TikToks. If you want to do some TikTok trends with your friends, we help with that. We also help with social media services, so we can help you go live or post live on your day. If you want to make Instagram posts during your wedding day, we can help you do that because you're going to be busy, and we want you to relax. So we take care of all the social media things for you.
Nice, nice. So, Jen, can you kind of explain to me what makes wedding content creation so valuable for the couple?
I think what makes wedding content creation so valuable is the ability to go back and see your day through an unfiltered lens.
Yeah.
It's basically like you're seeing video clips as if your friend filmed it on their phone. It feels more natural, it feels raw, and I think people really enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, as a videographer, wedding content creation, it's like a new thing. So it's been here for some years. It's steadily evolving, and I've seen it kind of grow from
Yes.
when it was a baby. Where do you think the lines get blurred between wedding content creation and wedding videography?
It can definitely get blurred. I've seen some wedding content creators move from using a phone into more professional equipment, and I think that can cause some confusion in what the end deliverable is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Because wedding content should be filmed on a phone for that more natural and candid look, but we have some people stepping into using more professional gear. I think it can also get blurred with the content people are actually delivering sometimes can look more like a videographer's product
Yeah.
than what a content creator would make for social media.
Yeah.
So that's where I think the lines get blurred a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So I agree. Again, I'm speaking for the videographers here. I was always under the impression that content creators came in, they got the BTS behind the
Yes.
scenes moments, the different TikTok trends, things of that nature. But I have seen a shift where the content creators are coming in and pretty much shooting the same exact thing as the wedding videographers and just making an overall highlight film the same way as what we would do. And I think that's kind of where I get a little confused
Yeah.
because it feels like it went from collaborating to competing. And now it's just like we're doing the same thing. It's like an
Yeah.
overlap. Have you seen that occur? Like, do you see that kind of
Yeah,
happening?
I can see that because some people, I'm going to say every content creator has their style,
Yeah.
right? Some content creators focus on more fun events, and then there's other ones that do kind of edit more like how a videographer would edit,
Yeah.
and I do think that blurs the line a little bit. But you are delivering more than just a highlight film as a videographer too. So even them just doing the highlight film still doesn't match up to what a videographer offers.
Yeah.
Because you guys do a whole movie sometimes, a whole cinematic movie. So yes, they might just be delivering a highlight film that looks really good, but they might not be delivering like a full movie or anything like that. But I do think that the style of editing
Yeah.
is what makes content creation unique.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah, I think, like you said, the styles and the different approaches that content creators take makes their style unique. So I just feel sometimes when they're doing the same thing that we do, we're taking away for the couple because
Yeah.
the couple is now getting pretty much the same
Yeah.
video in that place. But I love what content creators bring to the table. Because us as the videographers, we don't have the time to do all of those TikTok trends and all those different type of
Right.
transition videos. So when you guys do that, or when we have a content creator on site to do that, it's absolutely beautiful for
Yeah.
everybody because, like you said, today we live in a social media generation, so everybody loves those posts on social media, those big viral moments, things of
Yes.
that nature. Do you feel that couples value going viral more, or do they value an actual film that tells their story more?
I think a lot of the couples that work with me want to see raw footage of their day. They want to see the memories. It's less about going viral and just seeing the day through an unfiltered lens.
Yeah.
But I do have the occasional couple that says, "I want to go viral," right?
Yeah.
And I always say, "Well, we can try to go viral, but it might not happen.
Yeah.
That's not the goal. The goal is for you to have clips to remember your day with." But I do think having a cinematic wedding film is also very valuable because it brings back all the emotions with the music, the audio mixing, and everything. So it's just two different ways to go back and see your day, right? One is more polished and beautiful and like a movie, and the other one is like, I want to hear my grandma's laughter in the background, or I want to see my friend breaking it down on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, that's a good point. I've had people ask me like, "Hey, Tristan, do you think content creators lessen the value of your films?" And I said, absolutely not. You know, our films are always going to have value because
Yes.
it's their story in a cinematic way. Now, when you talk about social media value, maybe it does impact it a little bit
Yeah.
because, you know, say we did a big wedding, we have a content creator. Of course, you know, we shoot the whole wedding day. We're not editing the next day. You know,
No.
the content creator
Yeah.
can get everything back, and you know, the content creator may start posting everything from the
Yeah,
wedding.
that can happen.
So I say that to say like sometimes the shock value does go away from the videographer's film.
I can see that.
Because the content creator may have posted everything already, so
Yeah.
people have already, you know, seen everything. But that's just social media.
Yeah.
You know, when you're working with couples, it's more than just social media.
Yeah.
Like we're about giving you a film that matters. So
Yeah.
I don't really, you know, get upset about it, but you know, I do always like to explain like how things do work in that social media value part.
Yeah.
But again, they are very much two different things. Being that they're two different things, I still believe some couples truly don't understand the difference.
Right.
Have you had any couples book you as a content creator and maybe expecting things that a videographer would do?
Yes, I've definitely had people be confused about the differences between a content creator and a videographer. I always try with my marketing and my page to make sure that it's obvious what the difference is. I edit a lot of TikTok trends and a lot of like small clips. I don't really do a lot of long highlight videos or anything, but still I have people that are like, your quality is really good. Maybe you can just film horizontally
Yeah.
or do what a videographer does but I think it's important to know and understand the differences.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I've had that happen with me as well.
Yeah.
A client will reach out and say, "Hey, we're gonna go a different route. We're gonna get a content creator, and she probably can like make a film for us." And I want to be like, "Hey, I don't think they really do that."
No.
But sometimes you really just have to
Yeah.
explain things to couples because
Yeah.
they really don't know.
Yeah.
This is their first time. Some of them
Yeah.
getting married, but you just have to explain to them the different value that
Right.
each vendor brings to the table. Like again, for us, like you said, I've had couples reach out like, "Hey, we want to work with you because we want to go viral." I can't make you go viral. You know
No.
what I'm saying? I'm going to come and do my job
Yeah.
the best possible way that I can do it. And if something goes viral, it goes viral. But it's just not like it's not a plug and play. Like you can just get us
Right.
and you're going to go viral. We're going to definitely try to do some unique, creative things and make your story compelling. But we can't control going viral or anything. So I wanted to say this, being that, content creation is on the rise and not just wedding content, but every vendor needs content.
Yes.
Do you feel that sometimes there's too much media in the wedding space?
Yeah, sometimes I do think it gets overwhelming when every single vendor has a content creator and then the couple has a content creator and it gets to be too much.
Yeah.
I definitely think there should be a little bit more coordination, or if you are a content creator, I think it's important to stay in your lane. If you're
Yes.
hired for the DJ, film the DJ and film clips for the DJ. Don't be at the first look or at the ceremony. If you're
Yes.
working for catering, film the catering. You don't need to be at the makeup getting ready room or anything, so it's really important for vendors that hire the content creators to understand that creator needs to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
And it's important for the creators to understand that too.
Yeah.
And I think what would be maybe a better solution is to contact the main content creator for that day and ask them if they can also help you produce content to promote yourself instead of hiring a whole nother content creator.
Nah, yeah, definitely. This has been like a big problem lately.
Yeah.
I get it. Every vendor needs content. Everybody, wants to promote themselves. But at the end of the day, this is someone's wedding. You know, it's not a production. You know, this is about somebody's love.
Yes.
I've had brides come up to me and just say, Tristan, I'm just overstimulated. Where it's like 8
Yeah.
to 10 cameras in their face.
It can be a lot.
Yeah, it can be a lot. And like you said, I feel for them at times. I'm like, man, you're right. As much as I want to keep shooting you, I understand that you just need a break. You've had cameras in your face all day long.
Yep.
And like you said, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was saying I get that too, because sometimes the couples get overwhelmed by even making TikToks. And they're like, I don't want to do any more TikToks.
Yeah.
I just want to enjoy the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I definitely, you know, I respect that, and I let them enjoy their time.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes my frustration, a lot of our frustration are not with the wedding content creators. It's the other content creators, like you said, working for the other vendors.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just like, if you're here for the caterer, why are you here at the first look?
Yeah.
And if you're here for the DJ, why are you flying a drone over the wedding ceremony?
It's no point.
Yeah, it's just things like that you know, it makes us frustrated on the wedding day. But, you know, we're here for the couple, and, you know, we're not here to, you know, go and have arguments with each other or talk about that. So we try to make everything work. But it's something that, you know, I feel is really happening a lot in the industry.
Yeah.
And I think something that we can do to combat that is we need to curate more style shoots.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
Yeah, we as vendors need to come together and, you know, just make the best style shoots. That way everybody can come in and get their content.
Just have a separate marketing day. You don't need to make a wedding your marketing event.
Yeah, because like you said, weddings have become big marketing days for every vendor.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing interviews and, like you said, doing videos for their businesses, and it can just get very, very overwhelming. So I'm glad to know that even you as a content creator feel that same way as well.
I do. And well, how do you feel about the people that say, don't post styled shoots on your page because it's misleading?
I get that in a sense where it's like, you know, a style shoot definitely is not a wedding.
Right.
Because, you know, just the time and everything that happens in a wedding is so much faster than a style shoot. A style shoot, you get ample amount of time to get a shot. You can do it over and over again. You can't do that on a wedding.
Yeah.
But if you're, you know, doing a marketing piece, then a style shoot is great because, you know, you can really focus in on the decor. If you're a decor vendor who needs, you know, the marketing pieces, or if you are a hairdresser or a makeup artist, you know, you can really dial in on those things during a style shoot. A wedding day, it's just hard to, you know, really market just one aspect of the day because it's so many moving pieces.
Yes.
And like you mentioned, when it's like just a lot of media, it's hard. You've been
you don't. Yeah, there's no room to get the shot. There's too many people.
There's no room. We go into some of these hotel rooms and Airbnbs. They're tiny. Then you bring in a crew of 6 media people, and those vendors have their media team. Now you have 10 media teams in one cram room, and it gets very difficult to you know, work at your highest level. Even when, like, you know, they do first dance and stuff, you have to now navigate and make sure that you're not getting in people's shot, and you have to make sure you're not shooting people that's in your shot. So it's just a lot when there's multiple people in a room, but that also comes with good communication. Like, you want to be able to connect and communicate with your vendor team. As an OG in the game, do you feel like some of the new wedding content creators not fully understand the wedding day etiquette?
Sometimes, yes. When you've never experienced a wedding, if you've never been married before and you're jumping into doing content creation, obviously you're not going to have wedding etiquette knowledge, right? Maybe you've gotten married before, but even still, you don't have the knowledge of what it's like to be a vendor.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any wedding experience when I started. I'm just going to say that. I eloped. I didn't even have a wedding.
Okay.
And because I eloped, I realized that I wanted a content creator, but it wasn't a service that existed at the time. So I sat down and said, you know what? I already make content about fashion and makeup. Why don't I post wedding content and see where that goes? So I didn't have any wedding etiquette when I started, but I learned a lot of it through collaborating with other vendors, going to a lot of styled shoots. I did a lot of styled shoots, and I worked my way into it. I started with very small events. So over time, I did learn the wedding etiquette. But it is important to have knowledge of that because wedding days are very delicate. You're dealing with a very emotional and stressful day for some people. A lot of people have spent tons of money planning their wedding, so it's really important to know the do's and don'ts of weddings.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, just piggybacking, I feel like you said, yeah, some of the newer people just probably should just, try to understand weddings just a little bit more. I've worked with a fair share of wedding content creators, and they all have been phenomenal to work with. But just a few that I had slight problems with, just because, they just didn't understand the wedding etiquette. Like, you're just right in front of the bride and groom as they're about to kiss. It's like, come on, you can't do that. Or, first dance, just walking all the way around the cameras. And, but once they understand and communicate, any day on a wedding day, I always talk to the wedding content creator. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, you're not going to get your shot. Like, hey, I want you to get what you're going to get as well. Like, you're booked by the client, so we're all here as a team.
Oh, you've always been easy to work with. I've never had an issue with you.
I always try, like you said, to make the wedding content creator feel like they're just as important. Have you ever felt like photographers or videographers kind of make you feel like you're not as valuable as them?
Yeah, I have. So I went to a wedding vow renewal the other day.
Yeah.
And immediately the photographer walks in and the planner greets him. She says, "Hey, this is my content creator." And he says, "Well, I don't want her in my way."
Oh man.
Immediately. He didn't even say hi to me. He didn't greet me, or he just said, "I don't want her in my way." So anyways, I went to greet myself and I was like, "Hey, just let me know if you need me to move." But it's all about communication. I definitely had other instances where people try to talk down to me or they say, "What do you do? Do you film them brushing their teeth and stuff?" So there's definitely people that have challenged me, but I try to be very friendly. I try to collaborate with everyone and ask for permission definitely and say, "Hey, is it okay if I get this shot?" Or, "Hey, is it okay if I use this light? Is it going to ruin?" So it's really about communicating with the vendor team.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. Like you said, starting out, I'll be honest, when I first saw content creators coming in the game, I'm like, who is this person coming in with this phone? Like, what are they doing? I wasn't, understanding it in the beginning, but now that it's been some years in the game, it truly is a game changer. And it's so many ways that video and content creation can collaborate. I don't know why it's been such underlying beef between the two.
Yeah.
But it's like when we come together, we can do some great things.
That's true.
How do you think video and content creation work well together?
I think always videographers can definitely use behind the scenes of themselves for marketing purposes. Content creation goes beyond just making a video. We actually get clips and details that you can use as a bank to make more videos.
Facts.
Right? So we're filming every detail, every moment of the day, and we create a content bank that you can pull from to use to make more videos and more versus videographers making a film. They're doing a beautiful job, but they might need their own behind the scenes and all that. As for the couple, we can definitely work together because, again, you're making their film, and I'm filming maybe all the silly in-between moments or something that's going on behind the scenes. Maybe their grandma walked in the room and asked a funny question or something. So it's not always, for content, it's not always about filming just the pose moments. It's about capturing all the little in-between things that happen.
Yeah.
So I do think it's beautiful together.
Yeah. And like you said, I kind of said this earlier, but like you said, when it comes to those TikTok trends and things that, you guys help us out tremendously because, again, we don't have to necessarily worry or focus on that.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to stop what you're doing because the client's like, "Oh, can we do a TikTok?"
Yeah.
That's not your job.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to stop your day to post a TikTok story or an Instagram story.
Exactly. So you guys definitely help us out and y'all give us some breathing room. So, again, I like to tell a lot of videographers that don't look down on content creators. Like, just talk to them, understand how y'all can work with each other because we are all here for one common goal, and that's to make this wedding day the best possible for the couple.
Yeah.
And the couple booked us both, so she sees value in both of us.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to shift gears a little bit when it goes to content creation again. Are there any rules in content creation? And I ask that because, again, as a videographer, sometimes I see some things from the content creators that confuses me a little bit. So are content creators supposed to like fly drones? I know I seen, content creators miking up the couples and interviewing, which I get that. But I've seen it where it's like, okay, the couple is mic'd up from the venue. They're mic'd up from the videographer. Now they have a third mic from the content creationist too. So are there any rules, or where do you say like, you personally would draw the line as like, what you would do as a content creator?
I definitely don't use a drone if they're like, I don't have a drone, first of all, but I definitely want to use a drone if there's a videographer there or someone that offers that.
Yeah.
That's something I would maybe do if there was no other video source. But I do mic people up sometimes if there's no other video source because I want them to remember what they said and how it sounded like.
Yeah.
So if there's no videographer, I do use a mic sometimes.
Okay.
But it's not because I want to take a videographer's job. It's just because I want the couple to hear and remember what their day sounded like. It's not because I'm trying to delve into videography, but I do think that there are some lines being blurred, you know, with the drone shooting and the using of professional equipment. And I feel like with content creation, there hasn't been any rules established.
Yeah.
In the real world, on TikTok and YouTube, content creators use professional equipment
Yeah.
all the time. You have YouTube vloggers and TikTokers, and they use professional cameras to film their content.
No, that's true.
But when we came into the wedding world, there's already videographers, right? And we don't want to blur the lines. So a lot of us said we're only going to use phones to make the content. But I feel like that is it is getting a little bit blurred, and maybe there should be some established rules for those things.
Yeah, like you said, there has been no rules because it is a fresh thing, and that's why we're having this conversation, you know, for understanding. Again, like you said, a lot of content creators do have professional cameras. They shoot on a lot of cameras. So again, us as the videographers, sometimes it's not like we are intimidated, but when we see content creators come in with full setups, it just confuses us because not only does it confuse us, it confuses the couple, the wedding party, and they may think that we're all together, but we're two different vendor teams. And, you know, again, that's where the line just kind of gets blurred. So again, like you said, I don't know, you know, content creators out there, y'all let us know, like, what are some, you know, I don't think, like you said, y'all should have rules, but what is something that, you know, we should just understand collectively as videographers and content creators, like, okay, maybe us as the content creators shouldn't do that or that.
Yeah,
you know?
use your phone. But what confuses me is how are you investing in these tools and doing a full setup but not charging? Like a videographer, why would you charge less? That doesn't make sense to me. Why am I going to do more work for content creator pay when I'm basically a videographer? That part doesn't make sense to me as a content creator.
Because now y'all are working a lot harder.
So why am I undercutting myself and undercutting videographers? It just doesn't make sense to do that.
Again, like you said, I think it's totally fine. You know, you guys mic up the couple sometimes and things of that nature. I just know for one example, like we usually do interviews with some of the guests during, you know, cocktail hour or the reception. And as we were doing our interviews, the content creator was literally doing interviews right beside us. Like, and it's like, these people are not going to want to do two different interviews.
I get it, but what was the goal? Were you doing the interviews to edit into your video?
Like I like to incorporate the sound bites and put in, you know, different things into my video. And I've seen like content creators do their own interview styles.
Yeah, because it's a TikTok trend too, where you go around and interview all the guests. So maybe you might be doing a similar thing, but maybe the end goal of how you're going to use the content is different.
But this specific person was doing the same, asking the same type questions.
You interview the person, and then the content creator comes and they're like, "I've already been interviewed."
That's what I'm saying.
So that's annoying.
So that's what was happening with us. I'm like, oh man, these people don't want to get interviewed twice, and I'm like,
there needs to be some kind of coordination and talking to the couple of being like, hey, if you have your videographer doing interviews, maybe I shouldn't do that too.
And again, like you said, it's just things like that. It's like, I don't really know the right, you know, rules and things, so I don't want to say something if I'm not right. And it kind of goes back for us. So it's like, say a couple books a content creator. Are wedding videographers now not allowed to post their own content?
No, you guys can post whatever you want. I don't think that should matter. I think just because there's a content creator doesn't mean you can't post. The purpose of the content creator being there is to give content to the couple. It's not even for our own pages to be marketing and posting their wedding. So I think whoever wants to post should, you know, you can just post your stuff. I don't think there should be any rules about, if there's a content creator at the wedding, then no one else can post about it. I think that's ridiculous.
That's how I feel too. Because like you said, as a videographer, I've always, you know, posted different moments from a wedding as content, because it's like we shoot 8 to 10 hours of footage. Like we have a lot of content that we can post as well. So, you know, I post content sometimes, but I just didn't know if I'm stepping on the toes of a content creator
Not to me. I don't care. If someone does care about that, I think that's weird. I don't agree with it.
So question for you. If we have a say we have a couple that is, they're budget friendly and they have a decision on either a wedding videographer or a content creator, and they can only choose one.
Ah, that sucks. Yeah.
What do you think is best for that budget friendly couple?
Oh man. Well, if you can afford it, I think you should have everyone. You should have a videographer, content creator, and a photographer. But
Yes.
if you can't, if you can only afford either or, it definitely boils down to what you want the end result to look like.
Yeah.
Do you want a cinematic movie with crisp audio and beautiful visuals, or do you want a million clips of the day, raw and unedited,
Yeah.
and maybe some stuff you can use for social media? So it just really depends on what you're looking for on an individual level and what you want the end result to be.
Yeah. Well, I want to answer that for you because I think you're being humble. But if a couple only could choose one, I think they should go with a wedding content creator.
No.
Because I just feel like you said, it's more raw, it's more authentic.
Yeah.
They'll be able to have all those moments quick, easy.
Yeah.
But I'm also with you. Like, I would love if they could have all three of us.
I know.
Like, I've never been the type to be like, oh, just get a content creator. If you got a wedding content creator, I don't want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
we all bring different pieces to the
Yes.
game. So it's like we all are valuable. And if a client has that budget to book all three of us, just go right ahead and do it.
I agree. Yeah, it just depends what you want. For my wedding, I only had a photographer and a videographer.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out that I would have liked to take more cell phone videos because I didn't have time between doing my makeup or anything. And I had no pockets. So there was nowhere for my phone to go.
Yeah.
And I literally got no videos of the day. And I had nothing I could text to my family members.
Yeah.
And then it took 3 weeks to get my video back. So for me, I would have loved to have someone just take some cell phone clips so I can text my family or maybe go
Same.
live.
Oh, yeah.
Because I eloped and my family wasn't able to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had asked the video team if they could go live on Facebook, and of course they were like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So there are some benefits to having a content creator if that's what you want to go for. But if you want a beautiful movie and a cinematic film, I would definitely go with a videographer.
Nah, yeah, I agree with you on that one. Same. My wife is still upset with me to this day. She just wish she had like, a content creator because
Yeah.
it's a lot of footage that, we didn't get.
Right.
And it's like people can record stuff at your wedding, but you'll never get those videos. If you have a
You're lucky if you do.
you
Yeah, it
never
can
get
take a while.
If you get a designated, content creator to really give you all that footage
Yeah.
back, she would have been so happy.
Oh, yeah, it's so valuable. And I tried with my wedding video, I tried to cut it so that it would be vertical so I could post it on TikTok,
Oh, yeah.
but it ruined the quality.
Yeah,
It wasn't good. So I do wish I just had like some cell phone footage of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And the cell phone footage is getting so crispy good
Yeah,
these days.
that's true.
So kind of speaking about like how fast, again, content creators can get their product back. I want to say as a videographer, and us videographers, we have to take some blame for this, but I believe content creation really became a thing because us as the photographers and videographers were taking way too long to give the clients back their footage or their photos. And it was just a gap where they
Yeah.
was like, we need something. We want to post something.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel content creation came in and really, just took over that space.
That's true.
And they were able to, give them that footage really quick and, be able to post while they were on a high from the wedding day. For me, what I did during, I was saying during that time, but what I knew for my business was that I had to get faster. And that was something that.
Well, there
really,
you go.
Yeah, but this was before content creation really blew
Yeah.
up. I always knew hey, how can I set myself apart? And I knew that, turnaround time was going to be a key factor in my business elevating. And till this day, that's still one of the biggest things people always say. How did you get this video back so fast? How did you get
That's
it back
great.
so fast? And it's I worked on being able to edit effectively to get my clients back their footage because I know what it's like to be waiting on footage. It took a while to get my photos and videos back,
man.
and it's I know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's every time I shoot a wedding, my goal is to get it back into 2 to 3 days.
That's amazing.
Now-
That definitely would set you apart because a lot of my couples that I've talked to said it took them 6 to 9 months to get their wedding video.
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories
Yeah.
for sure. And like you said, and that's why, wedding content creation came and took the game by
Yes.
storm because, clients were just able to live in that moment so much quicker and so much faster. But I have seen the improvement for videographers in that turnaround time
Yeah.
because they see oh man, I got to get my stuff back out fast. And as I was mentioning earlier, if you don't get it back out soon, the whole wedding is going to already be on social media because
Yeah.
like people's going to post stuff.
Right.
The content creation is going to post stuff.
If
So
the
it's like,
content creator doesn't post it, the family's going to post
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Someone's going to
exactly.
have something.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
what do you think for a videographer it should be a soft spot as the turnaround time?
I think 4 weeks is fine.
Yeah.
I can wait a month for a professional wedding. But you know what? I understand editing takes a long time. Even for me,
Yeah.
sometimes a 10-second reel will take me hours to edit. So I know how hard editing is.
Yeah.
So I understand why it takes so long. I think if you can do it between 4 to 8 weeks, I think that's wonderful. But I do hear a lot of people saying that it took 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, or even more. And I think that is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like I'll be honest, I think anything over 4 months is kind of
Okay.
a bit much.
Yeah.
I get it. Like some people are way more established and they have a lot of couples and it gets really busy. But when you get to 6 months, that's a long time for couples to be waiting.
Yeah.
But I do understand it, and I do want to also voice why it does take longer for us videographers. Like we really do have to dive deep into all the footage.
Yeah.
We have to find the sound bites. We have to find certain moments. So it's like it takes a while for us to gather all that and compound it into a beautiful story.
Yes.
As to where you guys as the content creators, y'all don't have to dive as deep. Y'all just giving them the moments, the stuff like that. So I know sometimes couples are like, why is it taking so long? And I just want to explain.
It's a lot of factors.
It's a lot that goes into it, especially if you want it done correctly.
Yeah.
Again, for me, I try to get all of my extended films back in 4 to 6 weeks.
That's awesome.
For trailers, like I try to do that in the 2 to 3 day window. And trailers are much easier to put together because it's just like a trailer. You put in the best moments of the day. But that extended film takes time. It takes real care, and that is why it takes such a long time.
Yes.
So for content creators, how do you guys typically do your deliverables? Like I know some people are like 24 hours, and then you get like a certain amount of reels, or like how does it kind of work?
So for me personally, I deliver all the raw content within 24 hours. So literally the next day you wake up and you have an album full of photos and videos.
Yeah.
But for edited videos, again, it takes me a few days too because I can't edit that quickly. I need to find the sounds. I need to organize all the clips, go through them and see what looks good. So for edited videos, it does take me around 2 to 4 days to edit videos. But they do get all of the raw content immediately, which is amazing. I think a big factor of the speediness of it is it's cell phone footage. So it doesn't take as much space. It's easier to access. We can upload it I can edit right from my phone. I don't have to move it to a computer do an extra process. I don't have to do any sound mixing.
Yeah.
So I know that videographers do a lot,
Yeah.
and that's why they charge what they charge. It's definitely worth it.
So, question for you: where do you see content creation in the next 5 years?
I definitely think content creation will still be around. I think people might improve their quality of their videos, maybe start getting better cameras. It might turn into mobile videography instead of just content creation. But I do think that content creators will still be around because social media isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not.
Social media has been around from Vine. We have YouTube, and then it turned to TikTok. Now we have YouTube Shorts, and you have LinkedIn Shorts now.
I'm not hip to the LinkedIn.
You got link. Yeah, I post on LinkedIn Shorts sometimes. So every platform is now getting up to speed with short form videos. I can even access TikTok from my TV. It's that deep. So with every platform now getting into short form videos, I only think content creation is going to grow.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's here to stay.
Yeah.
I think it's here to stay. It's a part of the game. I've always had an analogy. I felt like content creation for me, it reminds me of the NBA. When every team, you draft a rookie. A rookie comes in, they're very valuable. They bring a lot to the team, but they don't come in right away and just start shooting 30 shots a game because they're figuring out the space. They're figuring out the game. But as they grow, they are becoming a part of the team. Now they are here to stay.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, content creators are here to stay. It's the new norm.
Yeah. I do think more media teams will have content creators available.
Yeah,
I've been
definitely seen
seeing a lot of that. I actually work with a couple of photographers to offer content creation to their clients. So I think we'll see more media teams offering content creation.
So how do you feel about that?
I think it's great. I think if you can team up with a content creator versus just putting a phone on top of your camera, that's much better, because when you're putting a phone on top of your camera, you're literally just shooting the same angles. You're not getting any creative shots. You're not actually creating content.
Yeah.
So when you bring a content creator on your team, you can actually get different angles and create content and film behind the scenes. I love working with photo and video teams. I think it's great when we can all collaborate. They know who I am. They're not going to have a problem with me. I'm part of their team. I also see maybe some people taking advantage of creators in this way and paying them lower than what they're worth. But I think if you can find a good media team to be a part of, then that's very valuable.
No, I think that is, like you said, the best way to do it, because when you come in together, you already know each other.
Yeah.
It's no like egos, or you trying to figure out if this person likes me or
Right.
anything. But yeah, I've definitely seen photographers and videographers adding content creation to their packages. And I don't necessarily think it's to take away from content creators. It's like you said, it's just better to have somebody together as a team, as a unit.
It can be. Even if you're not officially under their team, if you're just a business that they normally collaborate with, I think it's much better that way, because they're already familiar with your work process. They know how to communicate with you. You have experience. So I see it as a beneficial partnership. I don't see it as a negative thing.
Exactly. And then I know you kind of mentioned, like, when it comes to pricing, do you think that there's a lot of people coming into the content creation industry that, just grab the phone and now they think they're a wedding content creator?
Yeah.
And now it's like kind of saturating the market a little bit, to where, say we have you, someone who's been in the game for years, you have been doing great things. Now we have like this new person that just came in and they're charging, thousands less than you.
Yeah, I can't compete with free. There's definitely people out there that will do your wedding for free. They have a phone and they can film. But you can really see the difference when you look at the content. You can see the quality and the thought that goes behind the content versus someone that just picks up a phone and shoots.
Yeah.
Right. There's definitely, we'd still have to deal with framing and lighting and like how to make content look good, and not just like your grandma picked up the phone and started filming.
Yep. And that's what I've been saying. Like you said, it's levels to content creation, the same as it is to video and photo. Like you said, I've had times where people just think they can just pick up a camera and just start shooting. It's like, it's a little bit more effort and skill to that.
Yeah. I own a camera, and you don't see me offering photography because I suck at taking photos. Even though I own one, I know what my skill is and what my limits are.
And y'all have real skills, because I can't do what y'all do with a phone. I'm like, how is she getting that with this phone? Like, but yeah, I mean, that's just like you said, some things that I've noticed. I know people just think that it's just an easy thing. Like, I could just pick up a phone and start being a content creator. But
that hurts my heart.
It's not that easy. But I don't want to turn people away from being a content creator. Like, we all have the ability to, go out and be great. But again, there are levels, and, weddings are real big things. These are not like, something just little, it's some people's big day. So go out and start doing, content for like events in the city, and just build your way up.
Join styled shoots. That's what I did. I joined I did like 20 styled shoots in my first year.
Yep. And I think that's where I met you.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I met you at a styled shoot.
Yeah, we met at a styled shoot. It was a great time.
Yeah.
I was like, I love your energy. I love what you were doing. And, we just been connected ever since then. But definitely style shoots are the way to go for any vendor. Like, again, we talked about that earlier. It'll help you get some great promo marketable pieces, and you don't have to feel the pressure of a wedding day.
Yep.
And then, my last thing I wanted to say is, if there is anything you want to say to like an upcoming wedding content creator, what words of advice would you give to them?
My biggest advice would be to practice. Like we said, join styled shoots, go out there and maybe offer to film for businesses, or practice at home. But I think the more you practice getting good content, it'll give you a better result. Another piece of advice is definitely to get out there and network with other vendors. The more you grow your network, the more connected you are, the more jobs you'll get. But I do think content creation is amazing. It's only going to grow. I see more and more people posting short form content on their own. So we're going to get a lot of young couples that are going to want content for their weddings.
Great advice. And I just want to confirm, wedding videographers and wedding content creators can work together, right?
Yes.
See, we can do it, guys. This has been a great talk with Jen. Again, wedding videographers, wedding content creators, we're here to stay. We have to learn to work together. We are a team, and we just look forward to creating more content for you guys. This has been Tristan B. This is Jen. We signing out.
Thank you.